Yes, Professor, thank you very much for coming to our studios.
I appreciate your invitation, and I'm grateful to God to be here.
Thank you. We're happy that you're here. Now, I have listened to you quite a bit. I've heard you talk about many different things. But now you've got this thing that you've been talking about, this thing about national ideology.
Yes.
And the last time I shared that with you, I found it to be very intriguing.
Yes.
And I wanted you to come to talk to us and to talk to Nigerians, to talk to our audience about what it really is. What is national ideology? Does anyone care? I mean, how are we going to do this? How are we going to teach people in the villages, in the hamlets, in the nooks and crannies of Nigeria? How would they understand the English that is associated with it?
Well, let me say that I appreciate the question, because to me, no individual can act or behave in any manner without an idea. The same thing applies to a nation. No policy that can drive a nation to its greatness can have an actualization, a fulfillment, without what we call a national idea, which is a national ideology. That which inspires, drives, motivates, that which guides and leads the individual member of that family called nation or country to give his or her best to make that particular country or nation great or fulfill her dream. Without that kind of idea, there will be no national dream. And if there is no national dream, what are the people going to say, oh, this is what I'm looking forward to be? This is what I'm dreaming for Nigeria.
Where does that idea come from? From God?
Well, as a student of theology, as a pastor, definitely, because I said, agree with others, all great ideas are inspired by God, because government is his own. All creatures are his. All humans are his.
That's a good way to put it.
So since it comes from him, he may instill that idea to an individual. Like all the things that have been invented, maybe the telephone, the rail system, comes from an idea that God has given to an individual. And then the whole world grows into it. To me, it is so key that this country is suffering today largely because there's no national ideology. There's not a national idea that drives us to behave and act in a particular manner. Let me give you a quick example. In 1946, when the three regions emerged, the northern region, the eastern region, and of course the western region, all the three regions came up with their own regional ideology. The north in particular said, okay, if you have political power, you can guide and lead Nigeria to be great, and you can make the north great. The east say, oh, well, in our own case, if you have material wealth, you can make Nigeria great, and the east can take the leadership of the country. The west say, no, if you have education. In other words, east of these regions came north political power, ideology, east material wealth, west education. What was missing was the fact that there was no national ideology where the individual regional ideologies will hang their peg. There was no national ideological peg where they could hang. The other day I was speaking somewhere on the challenges of our own current government. I said, look, the party did not come up with an ideology that would drive the dream of the Nigerian people.
But would
the whole goal,
would that not be a political party ideology? That would not be a national
ideology. Yeah, of course there is. I mean, when we even talk about ideology, we talk about individual ideology, tribal ideology, party ideology, community ideology.
But I want you to continue with your thought, though. So the party did not come.
Yes. Okay. And then on a national level, we build it out. And then my problem, and then talking about that, what we are facing is that here is a man whose revolutionary background in trying to make sure he achieved results. And endured Nigeria and say, hey, this is the man that we want. You know, he came through an umbrella of a party. But this party's own, whatever that vague ideology is get the PDP out of the way. But if you get PDP out, what are you going to do? Change. And that change was not defined. You know, unfortunately, it is easy to say change, but what type of change are we looking for? Is it a change that is God-centered? Is it a change that is people-focused? Is it a change that is ideologically rooted? Is it a change that is service-oriented? Is it a change that is administratively inclusive?
Very good point.
Is it a change that is accountably exemplified? Is it a change that is objectively critical? Is it a change that is existentially relevant? You know, these things were not defined.
Absolutely.
And so in the midst of it, you are sitting on there as the president, and all of a sudden, you are faced with a multitude of challenges.
Yes. Professor, do we need a national conference to decide what this ideology should be? Or should it come from the National Assembly?
I want to believe that the National Assembly can do this job. We need it so urgently because it is out of that our national dream will come from. What is the dream that Nigerians have? You know, it's not a matter of me as an individual. Look, we talk of the American dream. We talk of the Japanese dream. We talk of other nations' dream. We talk of these dreams that make every one of them, this is what I'm looking forward to. You know, Nigeria can come up, you know. Our dream is to make sure that every Nigerian has a fulfilled life.
Are you saying, sir, that that's what our dream should be? Or who said that is our dream?
This is my own suggestion.
Okay,
that to say, look, I must give my best in such a way that every Nigerian should have a fulfilled life, not just perish halfway of your life, or at the end of your life, you look back, you are not a fulfilled person. You know, it is that. And when you adapt that kind of dream, yes, to fulfill the purpose for which God has given to you, then you are now beginning to say, hey, in everything that you do, give your best. Yes, as a laborer, as a cook, as a teacher, as a politician, and whatever. Nothing but your best to make Nigeria great. And it is in that you find even the fulfillment of your own individual dream. But what we have is that in the absence of a national ideology, an idea that will inspire us to give the best we can give to our own country. And I think, let me take a little step back to say that, look, I said in my book, I said, look, for a woman that is pregnant, if we define our national dream to exist is to be a Nigerian, rendering selfless service to make Nigeria the greatest of all nations, and to realize true greatness for all Nigerians in all areas of life, in the spirit of one family, one world, one common destiny, to the glory of the one and only God who created us. Every pregnant woman in Nigeria should read it 6 times to an unborn baby. And when a child is born, double it to 12 times. Every day, read it. When they get to the nursery school, let them read it. By primary school, they should memorize it. By secondary school, we should teach it as a subject, or to the university. Then we are driven by an idea that unites us, that binds us, that compels us to be great. You can't, you know.
But isn't that what we have in the national anthem? Arise, all compatriots. Arise, all compatriots.
A song.
And we have it in the pledge.
Singing a song is like teaching a bird, like parrot, you know, repeat it after me, without the contents of analysis. there's no doubt that even those who sat down and say, look, let's put this in down as a national anthem, they have in mind that this will inspire Nigerians to live. Yes. But it's too overloaded with words. A national ideology should be a captivating phrase. Okay. To exist is to be in Nigeria. Okay. So your existence has no fulfillment.
But what would that mean? Yeah. If I just say to myself, to exist is to be in Nigeria.
That's why the extension is, what it means is that if I do anything that is not the best of my ability, of my dream, of my potential, I'm not in Nigeria.
But if I say, arise, O compatriots.
Yes.
The nation's call, obey. That means anytime my nation calls, I obey. Is that not good?
Well, it's something that can be used. Yeah. But as I said, when you take all the stanzas together, this person will be asking, what is he talking about? Arise. Arise to do what? You know, which call are we going to obey? And in your national ideology, it's a summary statement. So strong to the point that you not only memorize it, you live by it. And it has to be taught. Okay. Taught in the sense that every word that is used is explained to the people. Okay. And they grow and live by it and live in it. And out of it, you come out a philosophy of life for the people. That's what drove me to this, even the philosophy of service, to serve. If we have spiritual renaissance and intellectual renaissance, we can all wake up and Nigeria can easily become the greatest nation on earth with all the human and natural resources that the Almighty God has offered us.